Nithyanandam, since the last video I updated, I thought it's been a while, and there have been a lot of changes that happened in my life since then. So here I am recording some of the changes that have happened in my life and giving a bit about that. So last when I recorded, I was in Singapore and working for a Fortune 5 company. Now I have resigned from that and moved bag and baggage with my family to Bangalore Aadheenam, the main ashram or the main center where Swamiji is based, Paramahamsa Nithyananda. So I am permanently based here now with my wife. My kids, as you may remember, are already studying here, and now both my wife and I are here. And it's been a great journey so far. We've been here about 2 months. It's been a fun, intense, amazing experience on a daily basis. Firstly, I'd like to just add maybe context to why I've moved here, right? Look, it's been very clear for me that the purpose of my life is way beyond what I had been doing till now. While I've been following Swamiji and taking care of some of the activities for the center in Singapore, there is a lot more to be done in taking this mission further and taking Swamiji's message out to the world, having the whole world connect to him in a more powerful way. Because what he has to offer is so completely unique and so what we need in today's world. I'll give you a context to that, right? Now, if you look at the evolution that's happened over time, when an amoeba, the first single-celled living organism that existed, evolved to becoming a fish, it was very much a physical evolution. Then, as a fish evolved and turned into monkeys, there was a physical and a mental evolution that happened along with it, right, in terms of capabilities. The next evolution that happened was when a monkey evolved into a man. While at a DNA level the difference is very small, there was a big shift in consciousness level, what you'd compare a monkey's consciousness level to a human consciousness level. Now what's coming, what Swamiji, Paramahamsa Nithyananda is bringing about is that next shift from going from being human to superhuman. And this shift is at a physical, mental, conscious and a superconscious level. Now what does that really mean, right? What we're really talking about is creating a new generation, a new species completely, not just a new generation, but a new species of people who will be living with very, very different, in a very different way, very different powers. Now, these are all based on the agamic scriptures that are there, which are thousands and thousands of years old, from Sadashiva himself, that Swamiji is reviving in modern day context. We have documented evidence for over 461 powers, and that's what Swamiji is initiating us all into, or these Shaktis, so that we can all live and radiate these Shaktis. Things that we would normally consider impossible is what he is promising that we would all be able to do. And not just promising, but practically we are seeing and living this on a day-to-day basis. For example, I've spoken about this, where ability to read while completely blindfolded. You put a blindfold over the eyes and you can read anything. How about being able to scan people's bodies remotely by just looking at them, being able to tell them what's going on inside them and what the internal problems might be. I know, by the way, at the same time healing them as well, right? Many such powers and Shaktis that Swamiji has been initiating us into. Remote scanning, the ability to look and describe the houses and locations where people are staying remotely without ever having visited it. The powers of length, breadth and depth, where length, for example, any logical question that you ask that you can look up on Google, for example, on a search engine, being able to answer that very, very casually. Breadth, expressing art, where you can describe and tell the name of any famous painter, and then people start just looking at describing the art without ever knowing anything about that person. Depth, it's really of connecting ourselves in a very different way. For example, where we're having control over matter. I have done this multiple times. People hold a coconut in their hands and being in that space of oneness, just being able to roll the coconut off their hands or even crack it. Various such Shaktis that we are all expressing, and this is a science because there are thousands of us literally across the globe expressing these powers so that we can lead powerful lives. Understand, the power by themselves might seem a little strange. Moving a coconut, why do you need a power for that, right? But understand, the context is really critical. When each of us starts expressing and doing things that we normally would consider impossible, that whole context of what we believe about ourselves shifts in a very different way. So right now, if you look at most of us, we live in a space of impossibility. I can't do this, I can't do that, so I'm going to optimize for this and optimize for that. However, when you start doing things that you would normally consider impossible, the whole thing opens up in a very different way, where you realize that there is no impossibility. I can do anything that I want and manifest the reality that I want for myself and for life around me. And that's an amazingly powerful way to live life. Truly, that's the nature of how we should all be living life, which is of manifesting the Shaktis, manifesting the state of Sadashiva, manifesting the space of Sadashiva, and radiating and living with all these powers that Sadashiva has and has, where this whole humankind in that sense, or living being has been, the whole life has been brought about so that we can all live and radiate these powers. Now, the moment I realized that really this is the biggest purpose of my life, it was a pretty simple decision saying, look, I want to be full-time doing this. While I might be successful in my career and doing whatever else in the outer world, it's really not giving me anything in terms of aligning with what I really want to manifest for myself in this life. So that's what I'm doing now. Here's Isha, one of the children studying here as well. You want to say hi?
Hi.
Great. So here's Isha, she's one of the students here and having a great time here. We have a number of kids studying in the Gurukul here. Swamiji has a Gurukul here, and they're all just amazingly manifesting and radiating these amazing powers. Now, to go back to why I became an adheenavasi, or why I have moved here full-time, bag and baggage, is realizing that whatever else I might be doing in the outer world, it's not really contributing for my growth or life around me, people around me, their growth, as much as I could when I'm based here. So I've moved here, been part of this, and really you can see an amazing shift in how I believe about myself, about life, and how I'm able to talk to others about it as well. And really bringing the shift about in a very, very powerful way. Now, the biggest thing that contributed for me to reach this realization was a 23-day retreat called Inner Awakening. When I first attended Inner Awakening, back in 2010, it really was an amazing vehicle where you get to spend so much time with the living incarnation Swamiji, Paramahamsa Nithyananda, where he very systematically walks through the process of helping us understand ourselves in a much deeper way. So there is a knowledge piece to it, there are process piece to it, but the biggest thing he does is it gives us the initiation so that he can reproduce that experience in us. Now, the power of these initiations is amazing. So for example, if he says, look, we are all very powerful beings, that all these karmic patterns and incompletions that we are carrying with us are redundant, yeah, it's great when you read it on paper and try and understand it in a deep way. But then when it comes down to actually experiencing it ourselves, that can be much more challenging. And that's what Swamiji does, which is gives us that experience so that we can live and radiate that in a different way. So one initiation, one touch of his, and you realize that all these years and years, who knows how many lifetimes of karmic baggage that we have been carrying, just gets erased. And you feel amazing freshness and lightness. For me, it manifested in the form of Kundalini awakening, a surge of beautiful energy just flowing through my system. And it has a lot of other effects as well. I'm just talking about how we experience it. But in terms of making me feel young, alive, full of energy, living life in a much more positive way, amazing way to have lived life. Now, that's a unique gift he has. There might be other masters who might be speaking, very, very polished way and giving a lot of different knowledge pieces. There might be some who may even have some kriyas, etc. to help us experience something. But there's nothing like Swamiji on this planet here today, who gives us not only that and much more, but gives us the right experience so that we can actually experience it for ourselves and make it our reality on a day-to-day basis. And that's exactly what he's doing. And the best vehicle he has right now for those who are interested in experiencing this for themselves is the Inner Awakening Retreat, where you come and live this lifestyle that we're all living on a day-to-day basis. A sattvic lifestyle, a morning routine starting with yoga, panchakriyas, getting ready, watching satsang, doing puja, eating very, very healthy, organic food, living in a very different environment where it's all geared towards us experiencing a highest possibility. All of these are supporting what really, really makes it happen for us is being in the presence, the living, breathing space of Swamiji. While he has a 6-foot body, he is way beyond that as well. And you get to realize that very, very quickly through the programs. We have people who come on day one who complete skeptics who don't believe in what's going on, but they've showed up just to experiment and see if this really works, and expressing powers right away on day one, day two, with just a simple initiation by Swamiji. They are able to express all these different powers in an amazing way. This is not an exclusive, uh, you know, exclusive thing for us, an exclusive experience that only for a few of us. This is yours, yes, yours and everyone else's birthright to live life powerfully. So what I invite you to do is to explore this for yourself and see how you can make it happen so that you can live powerful lives wherever you are and manifest the reality that you want, that we truly deserve to live. You want to live a rich life? Yes, absolutely. You want to live a life that's healthy, with the best of relationships, and being able to create the life that you really want to live? Yes, that is truly your birthright, not just mine. So come be part of it, come experience it, and see how you can start living life in that way. That's truly how we can create the shift that's needed for all of us to live super conscious lives, to live as super conscious beings, live as Sadashiva ourselves. So if you have any questions, you want to talk more about it, feel free to ping me. We can chat on this video link, and I commit to responding to you and seeing how we can cause this reality for yourself so we can all lead the amazing lives that we truly deserve to live. So thank you for your listening. Look forward to hearing back from you, and let's take it from there. Nithyanandam.